Gentlemen, and welcome to another segment of Asaph Cafe. I am your host, Asaph Adonai, and once again, I'm very blessed to be able to have this show here. We're on our Las Vegas, New York set. I got that corrected this week. And we just did an episode in my home, the last episode, so we're going to pretty much pick up where we left off. So on my immediate left, we have once again the lovely Linda Brooks Curtis, and she's one of our regulars. And on my further left, affectionately, our aging rocker Emmett. So that was fun doing that show.
Oh, it was wonderful.
At the house, and I know you caught the tail end of it, but you'll be able to see it. Christian's getting it together now.
Mm-hmm.
We have some guests sitting in with us today because once again I forgot my candelabra.
Mm-hmm.
This is the second time I forgot my candles. So once again we got Superman sitting in with us. He's kind of going to be the candelabra, and then of course we have this musical symbol here where my candle's going. I think it'll show up on camera here.
You can see the note there.
Yeah, you can see the note there and so on. So,
On
all right,
that
Emmett,
note-
you want to? Yeah, on that note, you want to start us off, Emmett?
Bless our show again, and our food in Jesus' name.
Amen. So, anyway, Linda, I'm sorry you missed, the entire home show. But I just wanted to I want the television audience of the cafe to see how I live.
Mm-hmm.
Do an intimate, kind of a private show there at home. So the audience will get to see that. It's like I mentioned, it's no different than Edward R. Murrow when he used to go to the homes of the movie stars. Of course, I don't live in a mansion or anything, but that's my mansion, that little home.
Oh, excuse me, 1 minute, I need to get a napkin. Hold on.
Go ahead.
Have one in my pocket, because it's a little bit chilly out. I thought it was.
Play that again. I never get tired of this song.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Fun song.
Yeah. Excellent tea. Thank
Thanks.
you. Very good tea, yep. Oh.
I've played this song maybe 1,000 times. And I never get tired of it.
Washing machines, Washing machines. I got to meet your dishwasher
Yes, you did.
and talk to it. I wish I could have met the vacuum cleaner. That would have been fun.
Well, you saw it, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I would have been talking to it.
I had it in the back room.
yeah. I did laundry yesterday at 4:30 in the morning,
Oh.
and it took me till almost 8 until after I got the
Ah.
other person's laundry done.
It did-
I do laundry for another person.
Okay.
So I was hanging out with the washers and dryers.
Fascinating. Did you get to talk to them? Do you talk to them and have conversations with them? I do mine. Yep.
Not usually.
Oh.
Yeah, same here, not usually.
But if you don't talk to them, they get lonely.
You know who you remind me of? You remember the Maytag repairman?
Yes.
His name was Jesse White, the actor that played him.
Yes.
Yeah, and he was like a tough guy. Did a lot of character acting when he was younger, and then he eventually went on to become the Maytag repairman commercial, and it was a big hit for him. So when you mentioned that, that's what that
Yep.
reminds me of. Yeah,
Thanks.
Jesse White was his name. In fact, he was on TV just last night. He was on the Andy Griffith Show just last night. And I happened to be tuning in, and I watched it. It was the episode where he loves his wife very dearly, but they fight all the time. I mean, not physical fight, argue.
Bicker.
They bicker because that's their way of expressing their love. So Sheriff Taylor goes to try to fix that, not realizing he was doing more harm, because they were like all of a sudden, okay dear, okay honey, and they were being all proper, and so they would take it out on their friends because they were miserable, they weren't being themselves. So Sheriff Taylor uses the psychology and has him go back to bickering better that they bicker and treat their friends right than they treat themselves right and mistreat all their friends.
Huh.
So that was what the episode was about.
Well, for you people who don't remember, if I remember right, the Maytag repairman, the commercial was Maytag washers and dryers were so well made that the Maytag repairman was always lonely because
Yeah.
no one would call him because no one needed their washer and dryer dishwasher
Yeah,
fixed
that was the
because it
actor.
was so good. Yeah.
That was the actor Jesse White was his name, and that was a big hit for him.
Yeah, it
Real
was.
big hit for him. Those Maytag. I mean, he was
Yeah.
a repair. He was in fact he did that gig for almost 20 years. I
Yep.
looked up. He's a Maytag repairman.
Yep.
That was probably one of his biggest gigs in television.
That'd be a lot of fun to do.
Represent that for that many years, even though he was doing those gangster pictures maybe, and the shows like Andy Griffith and all the rest of them. That Maytag just, I would have loved a gig like that.
Same here.
I would have loved it. Oh my goodness.
We could have made a lot of money and had the best job in the world about washers and dryers. I mean, how?
When you get into, I've done a commercial.
Really?
Well, not anyone that anyone's gonna know. What it was is there were 2 advertisement things I did in my lifetime. One, they once hired me as a hand model. They wanted to use my hands.
Mhm.
So they had me doing some stuff where on camera they just showed my hands. I got paid well for it, but you're not going to get picked up by a Hollywood scout using your hands. And then the other thing I did once, they hired me to play a teen counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And all I had to do was when the phone rang, pick it up and say teen hotline. That was it. And then
Amazing.
he went to another scene in the film. This was an actual movie. And,
Yeah.
I had like my 2 minutes. That was it.
If you get paid, that's the important thing.
I did.
Put food on the table, yeah.
I did a 30-second spokesperson commercial in
Uh-huh.
Las Vegas.
Amazing. Oh, those were good hot dogs again. Things. Thank you again.
Thank you.
I eat a lot of TV dinners. I mean, I do cook for myself. I mean, sometimes. And then raw food, like regular food, like hamburger meat and steak and other things, have gotten so expensive that ironically TV dinners are the cheapest. And I like TV dinners with TV.
Well, there's nothing wrong with TV dinners, but I'm at a point in my life where I want to eat more healthy.
Yeah.
So like last night, I boiled 2 eggs,
Mhm.
and then I opened up a can of tuna, and I combined the boiled eggs with the tuna with mayo, and you can slice up tomato in it with wheat bread, have a real thick tuna and egg sandwich. That's what I had last
That's
night.
fascinating, yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And I know ramen noodles are not really good for you, but I try to doctor it up.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
But I'm at a point where I can't even do that anymore now, and I think it's because I'm getting physically older.
Yeah.
Because they said on the world news, not to pick on ramen noodles, that stuff doesn't really digest in your system properly.
Yeah,
It's all
yeah.
preservatives.
Mhm.
Yeah, so... And when I was in school, when I was in college, I lived in a dorm with a bunch of Asians, a whole bunch of Asians, and they used to get they didn't get top ramen, obviously. They got the good noodles. So it smelled like you were in Asia because they had those little tiny pan ovens, and they were always making them ramen.
Wonderful.
Really good ramen noodles. So that's what it smelled like you were in China. It was
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday I opened a can of whole kernel corn and boiled some quinoa, which is very much like rice,
Yes.
and put it together with, I didn't even use chicken broth. I just opened up a can of tuna and put that in with some potatoes and carrots and spinach, and I'm enjoying tuna chowder.
That's wonderful, yeah.
And so I don't have to worry about all those preservatives in it.
Yeah. Thing is, with TV dinners, if you're watching like Battlestar Galactica or Star Trek, you have your TV tray. I don't even know if they make TV trays anymore. You have your TV dinner,
Uh-huh.
and you can watch Star Trek or maybe Batman or Battlestar Galactica and eat while watching the TV. And I like that. I'm just that kind of person, just
I own 6 tray tables,
cool.
and those are the things that I use for everyday living.
Cool.
And when I want my apartment to look tidy, I just fold up the tray tables and
Yep.
stick them away.
Uh-huh.
I don't need to have the big 4-foot
Yeah.
oval dining room table with chairs that I used to
Yeah,
have.
yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh. But, speaking of goodies, before you guys came this morning, I found this flat screen TV that was literally this big. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I found it in the dumpster, and I pulled it out of there. And I brought it in, and when I plugged it in, it didn't have an on or an off switch on it, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to use it. And when I plugged it in, it just had those lines that went down on the screen. So Christian said that's a sign that it was...
That's probably why they threw it out.
I know, but every once in a while, you might luck up and,
Oh, yeah.
find something. So I just
know
wanted
that.
to try, because, it was it was about this big,
Uh-huh.
flat screen TV.
I saw it.
Yeah, and that would have been cool to have that.
Mm-hmm.
Way cool. But anyway, getting back to eating, I try to eat a little bit more better now because I'm getting physically older. When we're talking about those ramen noodles,
Yeah.
okay, let's talk about ramen noodles for a second. What I do before I got to the point where I couldn't eat it anymore, I would, and I've probably had ramen noodles in more ways than anybody in history. You can poach egg, and like 2 poached eggs, and put it on top of the ramen noodles with the broth. You can sprinkle cheese on it and hamburger meat and make like a generic spaghetti with tomatoes chopped up and onions. You can have it on the side with tuna fish. You can take crab meat and sprinkle on top of the ramen noodles.
Authentic crab meat or imitation? I like the authentic.
Either one, it doesn't make any difference. I've even had ramen noodles fried. What you do is you cook it in the water till it dissolves. Then you take your pan with margarine and you can fry it and flip it over and have crunchy ramen noodles.
Cool.
I've had it that way. I've had it with you chop up vegetables like say you can have like squash, zucchini. You can have
Oh, yeah.
cucumbers and just cut it up and put it into the ramen noodles. I've had it every way. I've had it where you can take like soup, like the Campbell's soup with the goodies in it, and just mix it with the ramen noodles and have it that way. There's so many ways you can cook that.
Do you like ice cream? I had ice cream last night before going to bed.
I do, but I just don't eat as much ice cream as I used to.
Yeah.
And with ice cream, what I like to do, I like to take like just plain milk and mix it with vanilla, giant shake, or you can take like the chocolate, squeeze out of the container and do it that way.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Another thing I like to do is like to take carrot cake and applesauce, and you cut up a small piece of carrot cake with icing and stuff and pour the applesauce on top of it, and then just put it in the microwave for about 10 or 15 seconds.
Oh, that would be good.
And stuff like that. And if you don't want all that icing, just scrape the icing off, pour the applesauce on top.
I love Baskin Robbins. I don't have much money to eat out or anything, but Baskin Robbins is my favorite ice cream of all. It is so rich, so it's just wonderful. That's heaven. We passed by it on our way to MCAT, and that is like heaven. If ever I'm not plugging products, you can't do that on MCAT. I do love Baskin Robbins as a place to eat, get ice cream. That is fantastic. It is so rich. I've never had ice cream like it. I wonder what their secret recipe is. I'll doubt they'll ever share.
They're not going to tell you any more than the Colonel's going to tell you his secret recipe.
Yeah.
If the Colonel told you his secret recipe, everybody would be having it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Man out of business, probably.
Yep. But yeah, I love Baskin Robbins, and I love ice cream.
But Colonel Sanders got off to a late start in life as far as Kentucky Fried Chicken.
I did not know that.
Real Colonel Sanders.
He certainly did.
I mean, he was like near 70 or something when he...
He was 53 when he first started specializing in the product.
I did not know that.
And,
Wow.
But it took him years to perfect that to the point of what we know it today. Another thing that might interest you, Colonel Sanders was a Christian too.
Yep.
I read his biography. He was a believer in Jesus Christ.
Wonderful. Is he still alive?
No, we lost him years ago.
Oh,
He's
I didn't
probably
know
cooking chicken up there for the angels in heaven.
Yeah. Yep.
Angels will probably say, "Hey, Colonel, what's your secret?"
They probably won't tell him.
No. But yeah, it's never too late.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
And I just wanted to say thank you to the dining room staff
Okay.
at Missoula Manor for providing me with a sacrament.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
With a wonderful ham sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always request that it not have mayonnaise or anything on it, just the basics, just
Yeah.
the things themselves. And
Yep.
gluten-free bread, of course. And little grape tomatoes and peaches and
Uh-huh.
I also have some black grapes. So,
Yep.
thank you again, Missoula Manor dining staff.
Yeah, thank you, Manor.
And for the beautiful piano that wasn't wanted at the Manor and which we were able to give to Asaph.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Linda.
What a wonderful world.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I put the full text of What is So Rare as a Day in June by James Russell Lowell on my door. Manor. And yesterday was a rare day, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was raining, if I remember. No, was it raining? I can't remember what it was doing.
Yes. Yesterday was sunny most of the day. Sunny and
Yes.
clear, but there was a nice pleasant moisture in the air.
Mhm.
But then it rained too.
Yeah.
But that's Montana.
Yeah.
You gave me an idea what to play. You said sunny.
At least it's not broiling hot with the humidity like we had a few weeks ago, or a week ago. Oh.
I love you.
Sunny. That's a cool song. But anyway, yeah, what was I gonna say? I wanted to give my thanks to the Missoula Manor too, and especially you for blessing me with a beautiful piano. Yeah, I have the piano at home, and we demonstrated on the last cafe. And it's just a beautiful instrument to practice on and have fun. So I'm really, really thankful for that,
Wonderful.
to have that piano. I'm starting to put the hours back in now too. And I took all my basic sheet music, John Shams, and so I'm just reading it and starting all over literally and just getting re-familiar with stuff. I know how to do this stuff, but it's good to practice it slow and just re-familiarize yourself with everything.
Mm-hmm.
It
That's
really is.
wonderful.
It's a great way to practice.
I'd like to borrow some of those books because
Sure.
I gave
I've got
mine
the
all
entire-
away to my granddaughter.
I have the entire John Sham piano series
Cool.
from pre-A to H or whatever I think it was.
Did you ever have the Thompson series?
I have 2 of the Thompson books too.
Uh-huh.
That's what I need.
Yeah, book 1 and book 2, the very beginning. Yeah, I collected all that and just decided to do it. So, in fact, they have a song that goes something like this. Let's see,
Yeah, no.
see if I can off the top of my head. It's a very basic song. This is a song called Hannah Montana from the Sean's Blood. Let me do that. I haven't done it. I'm relying on my memory here. You remember that song? That was in the...
Well, you know, that melody has probably been used for
Well, yeah, I realize...
a couple dozen songs.
I realize that, but when you're playing in the piano sham, the beginning, it's just pretty straight. Now you can do something like this.
I think it was the Thompson that had so many of the absolute simplest form of,
Something like that, you know, with that Hannah Montana song, you can get fancy with it.
yeah, etudes and
Yeah, they're just
waltzes
basic
and
songs. They just like little children's song, you know.
Hungarian Rhapsody.
By the way, do they still make the Manor banner over at Missoula Manor?
Something like that.
Yes.
Oh, that's good. I had a friend of mine who years ago lived at the Manor, and sometimes I would read the Manor banner. It was pretty cool. I liked it.
Yeah.
In fact, Tuesday the 14th was the official 44th anniversary of the Manor's existence.
Cool.
But we're not having the celebration dinner with the board until next Tuesday.
Really?
And during next week, it's you wear something different every day.
Uh-huh.
You know, and then this Tuesday we were supposed to wear red, white, and blue,
Really?
but because it was Flag Day, and so
I see.
next week I think yellow is for Monday, and Tuesday is another color, and Wednesday is red, white, and blue, but the theme is soft rock. So I suppose we could wear the old blue jeans with saddle shoes or something.
I see.
Or if anybody wears them, those old felt circular skirts, if you were going in costume. But I tend to think of soft rock as the early 70s myself.
Yeah.
And boy, I was totally in jeans or mini skirts or... Remember bodysuits?
Yeah, I do.
I used to like bodysuits because I didn't like to have bare skin hanging out. And bodysuits would snap in the crotch, and so you had a straight line all the way up, and you didn't have to worry about your shirt coming untucked or anything like that. That was nice.
You know, speaking of bodysuits, the actor George Reeves, I understand, wore a bodysuit when they shot Superman. Remember he had that broad shoulder look? But yeah, that was a bodysuit. I was looking at the biography on how they shot that show, and that's what he wore. And he always had issues with the suit because it kept splitting and taping, and you know, because it was just a bodysuit. So, just a little trivia for those people.
Steve Reeves?
George Reeves. Did I say Chris Reeves? George Reeves.
Well, George Reeves
the
was
actor.
the only...
The black and white, yeah.
The old black and white television
show. Yeah, it was a
show,
bodysuit
but
that he was wearing.
Steve Reeves was the one who was it Chris Reeves? Who
Christopher
did
Reeves.
Christopher Reeves did the movie.
He did the movie. No, I'm talking about the television, the old black and white 1950s Superman. It was a bodysuit that George Reeves was wearing.
But Jim Reeves outshadows them all. My mom loved that singer. Nobody quite liked him, and he was very, very Christian.
Something like that. That Superman.
Yes, yes.
You know, he'd fly.
Yep, I remember that. Yep. Don't they still have that on Mead TV? The old Superman at 5:30 on Saturday.
Something like that. I don't know how to play that. I'm just making it up. But yeah, it comes on Saturday nights on Mead TV.
Yeah.
Superman. I used to watch that series too. Boy, am I dating myself with that, huh? Yeah, I used to watch Superman every day. The George Reeves when it used to come on when I was a kid growing up. So that was a fun series. Real fun series. There was a disturbing story about that series. There was a deranged man or something. He had mental illness, and they didn't have the treatments back then that they do today. And he was trying to prove to the world that Superman was real. He tried to shoot the actor when he was doing there was some sort of a campaign or publicity thing they were doing where he was wearing a Superman advertisement, and this guy was going to try to shoot George Reeves in his costume for real to prove to the world that he really was Superman, but they deflected that. So
That's good, yeah.
that would have freaked out a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Mental illness is a really sad but real topic these days.
It is. I've had friends who are mentally ill, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing, and I'm saying this kindly.
Exactly.
It's amazing how many people struggle with mental illness.
Yeah. Unbelievable, yeah.
All
Also,
walks of life. Young people, older people, people in their early 20s.
Yeah.
Well, Patty Duke was bipolar.
Yeah, even she, and she's a fine actress, so...
Well, she was, and she had
Just
to
a
totally be
wonderful
on guard.
actress. Yeah.
She had to be on guard all the time.
Well, I'm sure she had, because of who she was, they had top-notch professionals guiding her, counseling her, watching her when they were shooting the Patty Duke show, because I think that's when they started diagnosing it, wasn't it, when she...
I don't know. I've heard of, manic depression, bipolar, yeah.
Let's see if I can play it. Something like that. That was the thing, the Patty Duke show. But no, she was a wonderful actress, and I liked her when she was a child, when she did the Helen Keller story, The Miracle Worker. Did you see that movie? Did you ever see it?
Of course I saw the movie.
I have a copy of it at home.
She played that on Broadway for about 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, and then when they did the television, or the movie version, I should say, wonderful
That was
performance.
about the time that they made the movie man, the Music Man,
Yeah,
with little Ronnie Howard.
yeah, that's right.
Even
I'm not invoiced today, otherwise I would sing
Yeah.
Till There Was You.
Yeah.
Let me try that. These keys are getting slippery. I think somebody put some grease or something in these keys.
I hope not.
I gotta tell Joel that.
You mean someone sabotaged the piano?
No, not sabotaging.
Well, even concussions, repeated concussions, can cause mental illness or changes in behavior and personality. So, if you've had a concussion or a few of them, get checked out, get a CAT scan. Don't put off, don't say, no one can do anything. Yeah, they can do stuff for you, or at least let you know how serious the concussion has been and what to watch out for. So please, I just want to put that pitch in,
I have a neighbor at the manor, very, very nice woman. I believe she's about 69 or 70. And very pleasant person, but she just has such bouts with depression. She's not violent or anything like that. She just has to just rest. And that's the only, she has to just rest and live through it. And of course, she doesn't have enough coverage of insurance for her to go to a top-notch specialist. So she has been a real trial for her. She just has to sort of disappear.
Well, they have advanced medicines and things to treat people with these disorders these days now. In the old days, they would just
charge money.
I know. They would stick them in asylums, insane asylums, and say everybody's in the same. They'd lump it all in the same until they were able to be specific on how to treat people that suffer with that. And I've known a lot of people in my lifetime that suffer with mental illness, and it's very sad.
Yeah, it is.
You feel so helpless.
Exactly.
You can't do anything to help them.
Yeah, exactly. You
They're
can't.
suffering, and you're just you're powerless. Even Superman probably couldn't help them.
Yeah. Or they don't even know they're mentally ill, and what they're seeing is very real. It's kind of like in a dream. If I were dreaming, like let's say last night, I was dreaming that I couldn't work the TV, but I found a TV channel I didn't know about that had some of the old kids' science fiction, fantasy cartoons. I thought, well, this is really cool, finally. But I didn't know I was dreaming. To me, it was real, and if you had come into my dream and say, this is just a dream, I would have said, no, Asaph, it's real. Look at that TV. It's got some of the old stuff I like. I finally got the TV to work. Don't you see what I see? I said, no, it's just a dream. No, because to me, when I dream, it's real. Then I wake up and, I was just dreaming, or I've dreamed I've been late to Mass, and we're at Mass, whatever. No, we are at Mass. We're not at Asaph Cafe. It's not a dream. We're at Mass. We're at church at St. Francis. I just got a little late. It's the Christmas. It's Christmas Day, it's Mass. I mean, can't you see it? I'm waiting for the choir. So it's real to them. I mean, and that's where it's just, I don't know, it's just, the brain is so complex. It is just, especially when it's just, and it can happen to anybody. So
I know, but it's just so sad.
It is very sad, yeah.
But, I still believe in prayer, though.
Yeah, I do,
you
definitely.
You have to have professional help.
You do.
And I know that the Lord can do the impossible and the supernatural things, but usually, when it comes to medicines, I look at it like this. They're blessings from the Lord that people have been able to create to treat people with, say, mental illness or other treatments and things like that.
I've even heard with some mental illnesses, and this is just from like people who have alternative medicine, that actually it's brain parasites that get in the brain and can cause various things, and there are like herbal medicines to treat brain parasites.
I haven't heard that, but I've heard more like chemical issues, in the brain, the function of the brain and the body, but it's just sad because it's spreading.
It's, and probably a lot of stress and maybe like something in the environment or toxins in the environment.
I don't know. I wonder if the American diet has something to do with
that
too.
I was thinking about that.
Wondered about it. I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't specialize in that, so I don't know.
Well, not necessarily just American diet, but
Yeah,
any diet that is not whole food from what we had before even the 1950s. Is
Yeah, exactly.
eating.
Is that a new watch?
It's a watch. I've had it for about a year.
It looks very fascinating. I've never seen a watch like this. Is it some sort of power watch? Wow! I did not know you were an extraterrestrial.
Wow, it is a neat little watch. watch.
Well, I've only seen that in the 7th galaxy. That only belongs to the 7 warriors of the 7th galaxy. I did not know you were one of the 7.
Boy, that makes my watch humble in comparison.
I don't know, Jack gave it to me. He ordered it online.
Cool. I always make up science fiction things. I have a science fiction mind, you know. I love
One of
that
my
book.
most treasured memories was when I was in the 3rd grade and I was allowed to invite 3 people to my birthday party dinner, and my parents got me a nice watch, and of course it was green. And my birthday dinner was all my choice foods. It was halibut, you know, kind of chicken fried halibut, and let's see, new potatoes and peas, and what was another specialty of my mom's? And yellow cake with yellow sauce, lemon sauce.
That'd be good.
Something green also. And my friends had never eaten things like that before. They were all different style of eating. And but I'll never forget that old watch. And it was not until I was probably a senior in high school that I discovered that watches stopped on me. The old wind-up watches would stop because I had too much acid in my skin.
Oh, wow.
So after that, I basically wore pendant watches.
I see.
I had a very treasured pendant watch I bought in England when I was student teaching there, and I wore it for years. I still have it, but I never did get a new battery that fit it. So it's still in my jewelry box.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wow.
So that's why I don't generally wear wristwatches, or if I do, I only wear them for a short
Well, this is
time.
not really a watch in the tradition. It's really a bracelet that just happens to be a bracelet watch.
Oh, I had a bracelet watch too.
So it's pretty comfortable.
And you know, if you have that condition in your skin, you have to only have battery watches. Can't be any other kind because it'll stop them.
Interesting.
And that is not part of the body chemistry that causes mental illness.
No.
I know, but so I was trying to be as sensitive as I could when I was talking about mental illness.
Right,
It's
right.
very
Yes,
sad. There's
it
a
is,
lot of it
it
going
is.
around.
And-
a lot of it going around.
Yeah.
And I don't know what causes it or how it gets there. There's just no way to know. No way to know. So anyway, but I don't presume on life.
Yeah.
I don't presume on God, and I don't presume on my health. I take it one
Right,
step at a time,
right.
one step at a time. Because I've had this happen. I mean, I've said this before. I'll be feeling perfectly fine. All of a sudden, bam! I just get
Yes.
sick all of a sudden. I've had that happen. So
Yep.
for how we don't know when our last day is going to be in the world. So
Yeah.
I just take it one day at a time.
Absolutely.
One step at a time. I don't presume. I never presume.
Yeah.
Just thank the good Lord for every moment.
With all the very, very strange things that have happened to me, that's the way I am.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know, you can be on top of the world in 1 minute, and suddenly you're right back down there at the bottom. And I just
Oh, I've had that happen to
take
me.
it in stride.
Yeah, that's happened to me too. Yep.
Just take it in stride.
I've had it
and
happen.
keep going.
Absolutely had that happen. I had to tell Joel about these keys. It's almost like someone had Vaseline on our hands or something.
Oh, it's very bad. Do you think we should try and clean them now with some sort of cleaner fluid or something?
No, I'm gonna let Joel clean it professionally. Do it right.
Alright, alright. You mean they feel sticky or slippery?
Slippery.
That's awful.
Yeah, really slippery.
I hope it's not contaminated with something catching or something. Or
I'm not worried about that.
you mean they feel wet?
Not wet, just slick. Like someone was playing it that might have had Vaseline on their hands or lotion on their hands or something like that. It just feels slippery.
Yeah.
I'll tell
Probably what
Joey.
it was.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't think
Lotion,
it's anything that's
something
gonna,
like that.
you know. I'm not concerned about it. Just I
You
just
know,
happen to notice it. you
There are
know.
times when you just washed your hands
Oh
and
yeah.
you touch the piano and you go, why am I getting the piano sticky?
Mm-hmm.
And it could be sweat, it could be, you know,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
night and day.
Yeah, I'll put. If it, we don't have any secret ingredient today, but I'll take some of that tea.
All right. Yeah.
Load it up. You want some of that tea, Linda? It's ginseng.
I didn't get
Ginseng honey.
my cup. I'll go get
Emmett,
one.
would you get her a cup?
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, wow, service, thank you.
Certainly. We're at the cafe, you know.
That's right. And I would rather serve than be served.
Probably the best way to go. Served and be served.
I think I'd like some more of those chips if you don't
I'm gonna
mind.
play that night and day. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, and then, what's my absolute Cole Porter favorite? In the Still of the Night.
Okay.
That's my absolute favorite.
The washing machine.
Okay, old blue eyes. Sinatra.
Washing machine is fascinating. Oh yes, it really is.
You know, I don't think
I'll take
of-
some more of this, Linda.
I don't think of Sinatra when I hear Cole Porter music, but I'll tell you, it's really interesting that that old, well, actually, it was a film from the early 1940s
Uh-huh.
that had a number of movie stars, or well-known singers, and it was called Till the Clouds Roll By.
I've got it. I've got that.
And I think Frank Sinatra, a baritone, singing Old Man River beautifully. He wasn't even a bass.
Yeah, I have that movie at home. Till the Clouds Roll By.
And that's where,
So based on the life of Jerome Kearns, the composer.
yeah,
on his
and,
And they have a lot of
he was such a
singers.
fabulous person.
Singers.
Jerome Kearns.
I'm sure you would.
They called
yeah.
him Jerry. Everybody
Yeah,
just called
it's a
him
movie
Jerry.
called To the Clouds Roll By, 1946, and they had like all the singers that have passed on there. Dinah Shore was on there, Van Johnson, the dancer.
They didn't have Katherine Grayson.
Yeah, they did. I think she was in there.
Well,
And then they had
Judy Garland did.
Judy Garland was in there, yeah.
What was it she did?
And I don't think Judy Garland was that well known at that time. And of course, a very young Sinatra singing "Old Man River," beautiful performance. In fact,
Don't
it's
know
the best-
Old Man River. You're not talking about Blue.
No.
No.
No, if I
We're talking about from Showboat. Jerome
Ah.
Kern wrote that, and it was made into a movie
Well, I'm
in
gonna tell you.
the 1930s, and it was made into a movie in
1946.
1953.
Well, I got the 46 version.
Well, then it was made 3 times.
Yeah. But what I was going to say is Frank Sinatra's rendition or version of Old Man River, I think is the best in history, in my personal
And it's
opinion.
absolutely straight. It's
No, but I mean, he held that note at the end, at the end of that
I
film.
know, but he sings it absolutely straight instead of trying to distort it with all this stylization.
Yeah, it was just a beautiful version.
I
I know what you're
watched-
saying, yeah.
I watched an interview with him on television in the 1970s. And later, for no reason at all, you talk about dreams. I dreamt that for some reason I was being asked to perform for an awards show, and I was supposed to descend these steps singing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, just like Marilyn Monroe
Yeah.
did. And I didn't have the words anywhere. And I went to the local music store, and I couldn't find the words. Of course, the internet was not something I used in
Yeah.
those days, and I didn't know what I was going to do I was really under pressure, and nobody would give me the lyrics. And Frank Sinatra came to talk to me, and I said, "Can you help me get the lyrics to Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend?" And he said, "Ah, you know how to sing. Just sell the song. You know how to sell the song, baby."
Yeah.
It was Frank Sinatra talking to me.
Yeah, that
And,
must have been pretty cool. That must have
woke
been way
up.
cool.
Amazing,
I
yeah.
did wake
That
up.
must have been cool. I think I would have been. I normally don't get nervous when I meet famous people. If Frank Sinatra were here and I could
Yeah,
meet him,
I woke up screaming, but I don't know the words.
I think I would be kind of nervous if I could meet Frank Sinatra for real. I think I'd go brain dead for a moment. 'Cause
Yeah.
This guy knew everything about music. He did.
Well, he
The classics, everything. I mean, people had
he
said
was
that about. He
quite
knew everything.
proficient. Yes.
He knew everything about music, and it showed in his performances over the years too. Not just singing, but just putting stuff together. You know, just he was just an amazing singer.
Yeah, yeah.
Sinatra. I mean, he was just a one of a kind.
Well, I still sure wish that you would do a report on Johnny Mercer.
I had to try to remember that. I've just got these other stories ahead of time.
Yeah,
I'll get
well,
to him
he's
eventually. I
the
will.
person who made it possible for black music to excel in Hollywood.
Okay, yeah, I'm still checking.
And he
See,
is,
I don't know.
He was
I
a
don't know.
fabulous songwriter and lyricist.
Oh, I believe you. I don't really know Johnny Mercer because you got to remember that's before my time too.
Did you ever hear "It's Wonderful"?
Yes.
It's marvelous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lawrence Welk, yep.
He was words and music for that.
Yeah.
And where'd you get those eyes?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Is that
Johnny
Jeepers,
Mercer.
Creepers, or
Jeepers,
Yeah.
yeah.
Creepers, Jeepers, whatever. I don't know. But
That was on
He
the Lawrence
wrote
Welk
a lot
show.
of things that we don't realize he wrote.
let's see if I can figure it.
He was the founder of Capitol Records.
Something like that. Yeah. Jeepers, Creepers, or something
And
like
he owned
that.
a
Where'd you get those
music
speakers?
store called Wallach's Music Center. And I used to always go in there to buy sheet music.
Uh huh. See if I can remember the words. Jeepers, Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers? Something about the eyes or something. I don't know that song. That's way before my time, but I've heard the name Johnny Mercer, but I really don't know who he is. I've just heard the name. I don't even know what he looks like. I'll have to look him up on a
You know the song?
computer.
He Ain't Heavy, He's My Brother.
I know of that song.
He
yeah.
owned the original rights for that.
Oh,
Before it
okay.
was finally sold to other people, and then it became a song. But we didn't. I think that he had to do with applying a melody to it. Actually, the story didn't come from Boys Town.
Uh-huh.
Where it's over the gates there. He Ain't
Oh,
Heavy,
I
He's My
see.
Brother.
Uh-huh.
It actually came from a short story about a little Scottish girl whom a person saw carrying her brother, a very large toddler, on her back.
Mm-hmm.
And the stranger said, "Why are you doing this? Where are your parents?" And she said, "It's all right, sir. He ain't heavy. He's my brother."
And that's where you got the idea for that song?
Well, that's what the short story, that's where those words came from and the inspiration. And then it was later applied to a more socially broad setting.
Mm-hmm.
But we first took note of it when it was above the gates at the boys' school,
Mhm.
Boys Town. And then a song came together, and Johnny Mercer was the person who owned
Mhm.
the rights to it. He
Okay.
just wasn't able to get all the finished pieces on it
Yeah.
before his death.
Well, guys, we've had so much fun. We got 10 minutes left. Time
Yep.
just breezes by very quickly.
My, how time flies.
My hot time flies, yeah. That's true. Isn't that from a movie?
Me?
That line. My how time flies. Wasn't that
Well,
from
yeah,
a film?
it's an old saying.
Well, I know that, but I thought they had it in a movie once too.
Oh, yeah. And then there's the funny line about, "My, it's hot in here. I think I'll take off my ring." When they want to show off an engagement ring.
Yeah, that was Hollywood for you. Speaking of those kind of movies, Marilyn Monroe was just on that movie channel last week. They were showing her movies.
Gentlemen prefer blondes.
That's it. They showed it like 3 or 4 times last week.
I think that's where Diamonds Are Girls' Best Friends comes from.
Yeah. You know, I'm probably not going to get a popularity contest, but I liked Marilyn Monroe, but I didn't care for her movies. I just
No, and
they
she didn't
work
either.
For me.
That's why she took off from Hollywood for about 3 years, moved to New York, and took classes with the studio theater because she was tired of accepting roles that portrayed her as a bimbo.
Yeah,
she
and I've seen
things
the only
that made her look like she didn't have a brain in her head.
yeah.
And she was tired of that.
I can understand that.
She wanted something that was truly dramatic and intelligent.
She did that one dramatic movie with Clark Gable, that black and white film. I can't remember. It was pretty good, actually.
The Misfits?
Something like that, yeah.
Well, she did The Misfits. I think that was...
That was a pretty good one.
That was during the 50s. And that was when her husband, oh dear, what is his name? Arthur Miller wrote that screenplay
Yeah.
for her. But that was a little bit late in her career, and she'd become too much mixed up with the jealousy of...
Well, I understand that, but I'm just talking about just her movies in general.
But she would have gone further in what she would call legitimate acting
Yeah.
if she hadn't had her ex-husband being so jealous.
Well, I understand that, and you know, she was such a good-looking lady, and that's the way it was
well,
at that
of course,
time. I
it's
know.
quite true that she was involved with the Kennedys.
I don't
And that-
know, but
it is
you
quite
know.
true.
Okay,
Anyway, and that was something that shortened her life.
but you know, getting back to the acting part of it, the only exception to the rule for those cheesy films she made is 7-Year Itch. I do like that one. That's a cute one with Tommy Will, the actor.
And never seen it.
Well, it shows a little bit of cleverness.
Yeah,
on her part.
that's kind of I made an exception with that, but
Mhm.
most of her movies I didn't care for, except for The Misfits. That was more dramatic acting. But like Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, when they're making all those crazy movies,
Bus
you're
Stop.
right. They were. I think they were capitalizing on her looks because she was so
you know,
good looking.
she could have been a better singer too.
Oh,
she
I
was,
think so.
She was studying voice, and even up until the time of her death, and she had she was trying to get Ella Fitzgerald's style of singing, but she never was signed that type of song.
Yeah, and I think
know.
she would have succeeded in
But
that. I tell you who
I'll tell
did
you
succeed.
what, in that show, not the greatest show on earth, but it was, it had Alexander's Ragtime Band, and it had Donald
Donald O'Connor?
O'Connor.
I don't know.
Oh, anyway, she was in that. That was a terrible role they assigned her. I don't know why anybody would degrade themselves enough to go through what she did in that, and that probably was the time that she, I mean, it was a lot of body poses and
Yeah.
undulations and things like that, and you're going, you know, that must really be humiliating to a performer to do that kind of stuff just because
Yeah.
it's sold. So
I
that's
know.
probably the time right before she took off and moved to New York and worked in a studio theater
Well,
for a
at
while.
least she did that. I did like her in that Misfits film. I thought that was well done. I think it was well put together, and I thought her
I think
acting
that was about 1958 or
Yeah, that's
59.
when all that novelty from her earlier works, I think, was starting to fade a little bit and wear off. But with the exception of the 7-Year Itch, I don't care for Marilyn Monroe movies.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the early movies, and I'm probably going to get booed or whatever.
Well,
I just, you know,
I liked Some Like It Hot, but I mean, the plot, it was a cute role for her,
Uh-huh.
but again, they made her play it in that mindless
Yeah.
creature, and no wonder she was so frustrated with her career.
Yeah.
She
But that
wanted to get
7-Year
away with
Itch, that had a kind of a happy ending to me, because what I liked about it, when Evil's character was going through the midlife crisis, Marilyn Monroe guided him back to his wife and helped him to see that he really loved his wife. He didn't really.
Yeah, so it was a better plot.
It
She
was, yeah, that was a
wanted
better plot. And
plot.
there was another thing I liked too, when she gave him a final kiss and he was going to wipe it off, she said, "No, leave the lipstick on. I go back to your wife," kind of thing. I thought that was cute. You know, because it said that even though nothing happened, she gave him like a just a mild satisfaction or something, the way to describe it, to keep him from cheating on his wife, you know.
That
Just-
was the time.
It killed
that
the
she
curiosity of
she
what
was
would have
married
been.
to,
I don't know how to explain it,
She was
but it
married
was
to
like-
DiMaggio at that time.
Well, okay. I don't know much about DiMaggio either, except for his baseball playing, but to sum this up, because we're almost out of time, we've got about 3 minutes left.
Oh, my stars.
Yeah, well, my stars. I mean, she was, God bless Marilyn Monroe, she was a popular person, and the stuff that she did worked for her. It wouldn't have worked for me, but...
So I never
for
did
her.
get to sing Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Well, I think Carol Channing was more fun singing that anyway,
Oh,
so...
yeah. Carol Channing was a trip.
And we ought to save that for another show and talk about Carol Channing.
Dolly.
Yeah, Hello Dolly. She did a character
Hello,
called Cecilia.
Dolly. Hello. Wasn't that on Lawrence Welk? I have a Lawrence Welk album with that. Hello, Dolly. Yeah, yeah.
And you know, my final words about Carol Channing, we're going to have to sign off. She did a character called Cecilia Sisson. Did you ever see that?
No?
It's where every time she said the letter S, she would whistle. I am Cecilia Sisson kind of thing. It was so funny.
Yeah, she was cute. She did caricature type roles too.
But this is funny
But-
because it's supposed to be like a person
Well-
who was famous in the silent films until they had the
Yes,
talking
but
films.
it's more intelligent than the other caricature
Yeah.
pieces. And this, obviously, it's like, Carol Burnett did a lot of caricature pieces. It's like a cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
And so,
Well, to me, Carol Burnett, even if history says otherwise, to me, Carol Burnett will always be the funniest lady in history. But that's just my opinion. Now, on that note, let's make some final acknowledgments because we've got to sign down. We're running out of time. And thanks, guys, for being part of this. And Emma, thanks for doing the other show at home.
Yep.
And Linda, thanks for
may
coming.
the good Lord bless and keep you.
Yeah, I'll play that at the end there. So I am Asaph Adonai in this version. This is episode 10, season 8.
Mhm.
This episode we're taping right now. Asaph Cafe, season 8, episode 10. Let's do that. Lord bless you, keep you. You know this song? Ed?
Nope, I don't.
I meant the one, who is the composer of Music Man?
I don't know.
Well, he wrote May the Good Lord Bless and Keep You. And his version was the one that was sung in churches, actually, but was the theme song for Tallulah Bankhead's radio
But this
show.
is called The Lord Bless You and Keep You too. That's
Yeah, I know, but that's not the
I know,
version
that's not the
I
one
know
you're
for
talking
The
about,
Lord
yeah.
Bless You and Keep You
Mhm.
either.
But this is a beautiful song.
Well, ease it on out.
I just did. Well, let me make these acknowledgments here. I am Asaph Adonai, and on my immediate left, we have the lovely Linda Brooks Curtis. It's always a joy to have her, and she's such a delight in my life. And of course,
So nice to see you.
yes, and of course, affectionately, our aging rocker Emmett. And that was the Lord Bless You Keep It. I'll do it again, and we'll sign up.
Adios,
Mhm.
au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.
And if it freezes on that chord. And on that note, until our next show, Maranatha.
Yeah.
Well, you guys make yourself at home, and we'll talk.
All right.